All right. Yeah. So this is Ranger next. I think this is yours. This is you. Your secondary.
Ancient forces of nature dwell within Echovald, and the Untamed have learned to channel them through the bond they share with their pets.
What is that disgusting green?
Their earth-shaking hammer blows.
That's my only thing with this.
It's like a mold. I don't know.
While their pets' attacks are bolstered
Why is it gotta be on the pet too?
Energy. The power of nature flows.
Stop being negative about Rangers, dude.
And their animal companions.
Lots of spinny shit, CC, knockdown. I saw on there.
Alright, let's see if they're about to make Warrior obsolete in the Greatsword Hammer.
You know, that's true. That's hilarious. I'm not getting off my great bow. Longbow. Sorry.
The Untamed, otherwise known as the Bunny Thumper, as we're just not going to stop saying, is...
We can't. No.
I just want to say one thing. For how much they talk about Guild Wars 1, they sure as hell seem to have made so much of an effort to do nothing similar to it at all in Guild Wars 2. Considering that 1 had so much better stuff, it seems. So I don't know what that's about. They keep making all these Guild Wars 1 references, but I'm convinced 1's better than 2 at this point, the way they're talking, and from what I'm hearing other people say. But yeah.
I will pass it over to Cal to talk about the Bunny Thumper.
Why do they keep calling it Bunny Thumper? I missed this reference.
I think it's another Guild Wars 1 thing.
Oh.
So Bunny Thumper, obviously it's kind of like an in-joke. Anyone who's played Guild Wars 1, like I played Guild Wars 1 a lot. A lot of people in the studio played Guild Wars 1 a lot. So when we think Hammer Ranger, just the natural understand. The first thing you think about is Bunny Thumper. Kind of this Ranger Warrior hybrid, because back in Guild Wars 1 you could actually dual profession. You get those hammer skills to set up both, kind of create this more aggressive, CC focused character that played really well off the pet, because a lot of the pet skills care about, you know, like hitting a knockdown target. So you would invest in.
Play's gonna be a Ranger main, melee, Greatsword Hammer.
Ranger
already set it up like it's damage. You could be a real member of our guild then if you
A real member?
You're a real member. I mean,
I can't wait to be a real member of Fart.
Look, dude, we are a good guild. Shut it.
Nickname Bunny Thumper created the Unleash mechanic, which is kind of the stance swap between offense and defense. So right now I'm actually
stance swap. Let's see.
State for the Ranger.
It's ugly as hell.
And the first thing down here, you can see that we've kind of all of the pet skills as actual, you know, key bindable actions for the Ranger themselves. So all the tail swipe enjoyers in chat, you are now allowed to cast tail swipe whenever you so choose, instead of relying on your Drake to kind of use it correctly. And this is really going to allow you to kind of set up combos between yourself and the Ranger.
Still waiting for the trade-off then, technically.
I'm going to point out there's a lot of
stop being salty
in chat right now.
I'm not being salty. I'm being consistent, unlike a certain company.
More direct control means you don't have to worry about like interrupting your pet when it's going to do something dumb. You can just always know that I'm going to set up a combo because maybe I do a knockdown, and then my pet's always going to be able to catch it.
This should be an actual mechanic all across the board. See, this is what they do. They never fix the game. They just do the idea in an elite spec. This is what I was talking about with Ellie. Core Ellie struggles in like sustain. It's got low HP and stuff like that. So what do? Instead of addressing that, they just make an elite spec that doesn't have that problem, so that this thing could stay trash over here.
When you unleash your pet, we see a couple things flipped over. We saw some of the hammer skills flip over, which we'll get to real quick. But first, we'll talk about these kind of new pet skills. There's 3 new pet skills. These are kind of, the pet actually does the attack here, but they are more Ranger abilities that are cast around the pet location. So kind of like Scourge Shades.
Oh my god.
And so the first thing we'll see on Venomous Outburst is we actually also gave a Shadow Step to Ranger pets, because why not? And we were already giving Shadow Steps to.
It's more than 300 fucking range.
I was just saying that's 600.
So Venomous Outburst.
Or 900 even, I don't know.
And then does a quick poison.
900 range of that shit.
And the cool thing about all of these kind of unleashed pets.
They gave the pet more range than a damn...
I got a swamp cracking up laughing.
It's so dumb.
Is that they also get a bonus effect against CC targets. So if you hit your enemy with Thump, Knockdown, there's some vulnerability on there as well.
Wait, knockdown where?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, why does this remove 3 boons, just default?
That's awesome.
There's this thing called Spellbreaker that's thematically supposed to do stuff like this.
Just keep going.
And you just randomly give it to...
Next up, Rending Vines. This is an AoE Boon Rip.
AoE Boon Rip?
Finally, we have Enveloping Haze, which is this nice projectile hate bubble.
Oh, they just gave, the freaking... the Spellbreaker release.
I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm laughing at you.
Little poison field in there, so you can get a nice of area weakness if you want to, and if that hits a CC target, it's going to chill, so disrupt cooldowns a little bit.
Oh, it's just Condi.
If it hits it, what?
It hits him. It's gonna poison or whatever bullshit. If it hits him, it gives him a chill.
So the poison creates chill. This game is a mess.
Dude.
The poison creates chill?
I think it's poison, whatever the fuck it was first. Yeah.
This game makes no sense. This game is so retarded with Condi. And it's like just Skittles everywhere. Just Oprah Winfreying, like every Condi, just a little check under your seat.
You get a Condi. You get a Condi.
Unleashed. The cooldown is shared. That's pretty important. We didn't want to just double the amount of skills on Hammer, so you will have to pick and choose your spots. But the Unleashed version of Wild Swing does not do any critical. That's a lot more damage.
It's a bit more damage.
So that's basically Hammer 2 on Warrior, damage-wise.
No, that's pretty good. That's like that's a good amount for the base right there. Ooh, look at that! I got daze.
Okay, so this is the 3. So far, this is the first CC, I guess. Quickly strike the ground, dazing nearby allies. It's a daze, so you're gonna get to keep your damage.
But use 2 dazes. You have a follow-up daze too.
What? So it's,
yeah, you know, it's like a daze.
The first daze is on the spot, I guess. And then
you hit him.
And then no, because the range it's a radius. So like if you're beside them and you use it, then it's gonna hit them. It's gonna daze them. And then the second one is another daze, but it's a leap, they said. Follow up with a leaping strike. Like, where are they gonna... They're gonna still be in the same... Like, I don't know.
You get 2 dazes back to back. That's what I'm reading.
Yeah,
pretty much. That's pretty fun.
Overbearing Smash is kind of this 2-part attack, where you do a very quick initial daze, get potentially an interrupt in there, and then follow up with this leap for a little bit of a longer daze to then set.
That first part looks undodgeable, too.
Looking for.
Yeah, it doesn't say unblockable.
Moving into Savage Shockwave. This is a kind of 3-part expanding small, larger, largest shockwave.
It's kind of cool.
Okay, smash the ground, creating 3 expanding shockwaves that apply
weakness and immobilize. And vulnerability. Longbow hammer. I'm gonna try longbow with hammer on Tuesday.
Why would you do it with longbow?
Like, I haven't seen a get the fuck out thing. So that's kind of...
It doesn't have one because you're supposed to play this with greatsword. They said they're making a front line spec out of this, ideally.
Well, World v World, you have to do fucking raid. You have to. It's pirates ship a lot of fucking times.
So far, this hammer versus warrior hammer, I don't think this is, like, it's not altogether, it's not better, but the fact that they have a pet, this probably means some, like, cancer.
It is better. It's fucking more damage.
Well, the number 2 is, like, what's annoying me so far. Everything else is, like, kind of fun. We'll see what the 5 is,
That's
though.
Going to do a different condition, immobile health radius, then weakness and vulnerability as it gets a little bit wider. And as mentioned,
they basically made a way so that they get to keep all their damage by not making stuns, but making it dazes. So yeah. Oh wait, they said knockdown, I think.
For skill 5 is going to be thump.
No, he's not gonna.
Wait, scroll. Oh, it's here. Target AoE, 1100. Knockdown 2 seconds. That's
okay,
pretty good.
yeah. So slam the ground with your. I went straight for the duration when I looked at that. I'm like, if that's longer than the friggin' Hammer 5 knockdown on Warrior, then
it's 2 seconds. What's the Warrior?
It's like 4.
Is it 20-second cooldown?
It's. I think it's 25 untraded, 20 traded, or whatever the math.
We don't know if he's traded or not. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so this shouldn't do damage in PvP because it's a hard CC.
I don't know, and it's a blast finisher, so that's pretty nice, just for extra shit.
That's good, because then if you use Healing Spring or something in group teams...
What?
And you're,
I'm not using... Don't fucking use Healing Spring.
Also on the Unleashed side...
No, then you can blast the water field.
Unleashed Savage Shockwave...
And you can control your pet to do it too.
Against disabled foes. So Unleashed Savage Shockwave, potentially the largest damage dealing skill for this kit. Overbearing Smash, a little bit different. We're not going to have any days in here. The quick attack here is still going to be potentially a...
These are the extra damage, or no? These are less damage ones.
Why does this have blind?
Attack,
thematically, they're making no sense here.
No.
Remove boons from your targets. And finally, we have Unleashed Thump. There's going to be a lot more damage, and still kind of trying to be that setup skill.
That's a nice damage.
CC, so it's going to give you might.
Won't be a more
target struck. So cast it, get a bunch of might, then go through, kind of use the rest of your ability.
If they're following their own rules, they shouldn't be doing damage.
But for now, we'll just stick with the high level kind of skills demo that we've shown off and move into the cantrips here.
Well,
cantrips.
Oh, true. Yeah. So there's when the cantrip ends, drain health from your pet based on a percentage of its current health.
For a few seconds, you will not be able to go below 1 HP, and then as you saw, once that buff expired, it drained health from
very quickly too.
To prevent you from swapping pets while it's active, so you can't just swap at the last minute and get
that's quick.
Your full health pet for full value. Next up, we're going to see exploding spores. So this is kind of a cool ability where it's
This
going
is
to
the
be
fungus shit.
kind of a ring of these spores that are just kind of AoE.
Did he hover it? Create a ring of spores around yourself that explodes on short duration. Enemies hit with spores are knocked down. That's actually pretty big.
What did it say it was knocked?
It's an AoE knockdown.
Oh, sweet.
You got one slot to kind of take this if you want.
Yeah, I gotta take 2 stun breaks.
Yeah.
So I gotta take Doliac stance for sure.
You can't. That's a soul beast.
Oh fuck! I can't take that. Fuck! I don't know. I'd go this. We'll see.
You're a ranger?
It's actually crippled now. It used to do vuln, but
Dude, I told you at the beginning. I don't know any fucking names of skills, right?
I know. My bad.
I need to have 2 stun breaks on the other 4 skills. That's it.
That's everyone should be taking 2 stun breaks in this game state right now.
Oh, no stun break.
Convert all your conditions into Okay, I thought it was gonna be into boons. I was about to lose my shit.
Convert all your conditions into vulnerability. I mean,
that's weird. You're basically because vulnerability is essentially nothing. Like when vulnerability's on me, I don't even think about it.
You get the incoming like damage to yourself.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like 1 stack per Condi, I think. It's basically a full Condi cleanse, but I guess it's instant cast too, so you can use it while CC'd, but it's not a stun break.
Removes all conditions from yourself, but it's also going to give you vulnerability per condition cleansed. Next up, we have the Shadow Step that we kind of spoiled previously, Unnatural Traversal. It's going to be a blink in, a little bit of AoE vulnerability. That's pretty much it. If you hit anything, you're going to get 50% cooldown refund, so this is really going to incentivize going in as opposed to using it to get out of fights.
None of these skills have stun break on it. I'm sorry. You can't worry.
Same with the Thief that we just saw apparently didn't have one too, which is weird because I think every elite spec they've shown so far up until this point all had their stun breaks as they should. In
I don't like this.
Groups.
I don't like the utilities, man.
Well, you can still take old utilities.
Yeah, but
it's just because that's the problem everyone had anyway. I had to play Willbender.
Yeah.
With friggin' no Willbender utilities.
Yeah.
This is going to be a kind of PBA. We attack that creates these cages. Similar mechanic that we've seen on Dragon Hunter Longbow.
Yeah.
And finally,
what's this?
We have the elite skill Forest Fortification.
Is this not even a stun break either?
And this is the big defensive cooldown of the kit we see.
Surround yourself with elements of nature or gaining defensive boons and damage reduction. Striking an enemy while this fortification is active reduces the cooldown of this ability. 90-second cooldown. Okay, 1 second to cast. Gives you stability, resistance, resolution, and fortification, reduce incoming damage by 50%. That's actually pretty. That's a solid elite, at least.
How long does that 50% damage reduction last?
10 seconds.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It might be lower in Rover's World if they're gonna do that, but it still
means that's a nice elite. Okay, that's the only skill I've seen I really like.
Because the way how people in Rover's World play, they play so scared that every engagement you're pretty much gonna be able to use this anyway. Pop this. 50% damage reduction, so you can actually like not get one, like you cannot die. You can actually be a melee in World vs. World for a second. This literally has all the stuff you would want.
The only thing, I mean it's good, but I think the big shining star of this shit is that green icon part, the 4th one down, about the 10 seconds with 50% health. Like that is fucking OP. That's really good. But the rest of the, I mean,
it's all good.
I would take, yeah, but I would like just take the elite. I know this is a solid elite.
You're talking about the.
Yeah, I would just take the elite. Like I don't see any.
Other ones.
Yeah, I have.
Anytime you hit an enemy while it's active, it's going to refund the cooldown a little bit. So really going to incentivize getting into those larger fights. Moving into the traits, we start Natural Fortitude, Gain Vitality. Frontline
just free HP for no reason. On a minor.
Battle of the Untamed. This is going to be kind of the character defining.
Ranger didn't even have low HP.
Defining mechanic of how Unleashed function.
You realize you could stack that with the other freaking HP raising trait in
Wilderness. I have 28,000. I don't run Wilderness, and I have 28,000 health.
They thought Ranger was squishy for some reason. When it doesn't have to be. It can surpass heavy armors. If you take Wilderness trait plus this, plus a rune that gives you more HP, plus just stack your gear and like some stuff like.
You'd have like 40,000 health. I don't know. I have 28,000 without the shit. So.
You are unleashed. Your output increase, but you also take more damage.
On my brazier line, not my glass.
You will deal less damage, but you also take less damage. So again, that offense-defense toggle. And along the top, we'll see some traits that.
If you're unleashed, then you do vulnerability. If your pet is unleashed, you do weakness.
Give you value for controlling an enemy.
Disabling a foe grants you boons based on your current state. Quickness and stability.
Here we see boon application, unleashed state, and the Grandmaster trait is going to be cooldown reduction. every time you crowd control a target. Cleanse conditions when you swap.
Remove conditions when you unleash your pet.
Some more boons when you unleash, so it's going to, again, going into defense, I get protection, going into offense, I get might. And finally, restorative strikes. Heal yourself as a percentage of your outgoing damage. So the more
it's
you
10%,
it's
pretty good.
Pet-related things across the bottom, starting off with Blinding Outburst. This is going to augment the Venomous Outburst that we saw earlier. It's going to make it apply blind in addition to other effects.
There's already traits that do that.
Change Rending Vines into a boon corrupt as opposed to a boon rip. These guys don't have any boons, so you can't really tell. But a little bit more value there because it also be.
They're gonna corrupt now. Now they're trying to dabble into necro. I'm not.
Application on top of boon removal.
You and your pet grant each other increased damage and movement speed when striking enemies. Okay, so it's gonna stack. It can stack up to 5 times. Each stack is gonna give you 3% damage and 5% movement speed.
Oh, that's not bad either.
Or it could just have swiftness, but I guess it stacks with swiftness maybe. But yeah.
So there's the speed run of the Untamed. We'll come back to it again and talk a little bit more later in the show, but we're going to move on.
Do we need to do that
next?
No. What, second part?
I think he went over it enough. Like,
we don't need to do the other things. Yeah.
All right, so that was Ranger. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
I don't think this is more fun in gameplay as far as if you're just comparing the weapons of Greatsword and Hammer to Warrior and Ranger. Although most of the gameplay, like, it's the Ranger Greatsword that outshines the Warrior Greatsword. But hammer to hammer, I think Warrior has the better hammer. For me, like, you can combo better, and it just links. Also, you get the extra skill on Warrior, the burst skill. Like, for Ranger, though, like, just the Greatsword Hammer pairing, it's good because Greatsword has a block, so you have that. It's got AoE. This is an AoE option that Ranger didn't have before, because before, my problem with Ranger, why I didn't play it more, is I only kind of like the Greatsword as a weapon. But now, you have another option.
Greatsword's AoE?
Yeah, but you need a second weapon that's AoE, and I didn't want to use Longbow. I tried dual axe for a while, but February patch made that stupid. Because, like, trying to land a axe 4 and then it's going to do no damage, that's stupid. And then axe main hand, I wanted symmetrical weapons. They tried to make, like, half hybrid, half, it's like they don't know what they're doing with axe. And then I didn't like that there's too many throwing weapons. So I'm liking that this is melee weapon and it's got some AoE. So I think it's a good pairing for the Greatsword. There's definitely going to be a build in there. And it's not hard to build your Ranger tanky at all. So I don't know what, they went pretty overboard on, like, just having extra HP and stuff like that. Like, they didn't, they would have survived just fine without any of the free stuff. But for Rangers that want to be in a squad, oh, actually, I don't think they have party boons here. So that's the thing. If you do want the playstyle of Zerg, you can still kind of get it, but you just won't be, you'll have to have your own little small party going or something. Pets are probably still going to get one shot. He only showed one pet too. That was weird. I think he said something about the new ones.
He said there's 4, but they are not going to be available in beta. They're not going to be so.
Yeah, they only showed the friggin' the new bandwagon pet that came out of nowhere because people are late to decide or discover that Drakes were good as far as old pets go. Like Drakes did damage. People only figured that out now. I don't know how. Like, I was on that, like, Heart of Thorns. Anyways, I'm not trying to take credit. When it comes to meta in this game, the reason why I don't listen to people is because nobody experiments in this game. If you're finding out about shit this late, that's because only, like, 20 people in the game experiment and everybody else is just, like, waiting to see what they're doing so that they can copy. Ranger's going to have a build here. It's going to be easy to make it tanky, and they're probably going to be better at staying in the fray than Warrior even on that type of playstyle. So in a sense, they're going to be better at the Warrior playstyle in Zerg, that just as far as just direct fighting in the group, than the Warrior can at the moment.
I have some things to say.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
If you play Rangers, if y'all think that this is the way that you can be tanky and actually be melee and stuff, y'all ain't never read the Greatsword skills. You've always been tanky enough to fucking be in melee fights. So if you want to just be a melee fucking Ranger and just play with one mode of melee, then it gives you 2 weapons that are pretty good damage-wise to have 2 weapons that can be melee. The utility skills, I would not, I mean, you need stun breaks, so I mean, you're going to have to do, like, Protect Me, probably, because you have the barrier and stun break, and maybe either lightning reflexes or, what the fuck's the name of the other one?
Quickening Zephyr.
Yeah, Quickening Zephyr, that's it. Yeah, and there's, like, one of the same, anyway, yeah, you probably have to take, like, you have to take Protect Me, and either quickening zephyr or lightning reflexes. So you're gonna have to use 2 of your skills, like so utilities just suck. Except for the elite, that's like the one I saw good. If a warrior has ever wanted to play a ranger, this gives a warrior the chance to go and play a ranger.
So a lot of warriors already sold out to ranger.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm gonna see how it goes with longbow. I still think if you're switching between, just from what I see here, if you're wanting to do 2 modes, 2 ranges of weapon swap, like have your ranged weapon and have your like harder hitting melee weapon. I still like why I don't know if I play this greatsword with a hammer. I think like I'll try hammer and greatsword if you want to be melee, but I don't know. We'll see how much damage it does.
You're either doing hammer greatsword or hammer and like sword warhorn or something. But yeah, that's basically all I got to say on a ranger. Next, they're doing engineer or mechanist.
Yeah, let's do a quick 2-minute AFK again before we do this. I'll be back.
Okay. The Rangers got a solid build in here for sure.